So this Baruch here, we're going to learn Jewish astrology. There's nothing about this book that's necessarily going to be easy, but if you have a feeling for the hidden, then, and we're coming to that part of the year, incidentally, as the sun is moving out of Capricorn, out of Kislev, out of Sagittarius, which is Kislev, moving into Capricorn, which is it's the most dark part of the year. At that time of the year, we seek light, and every single day and every single moment. This book is written by Rabbi Yaakov Kronenberg. Last time that we learned a little bit of the letter, excuse me, Rabbi Avraham Barchia. Now let me see if I keep getting his name wrong. So it's Avraham Barchia. So I got it right now. Because this whole first chapter is really dealing with this letter that was written by Rabbi Avraham Barchia. So let me just go into the part that I want to salvage and try to move on to the next place. He says that in that letter, Rebbe Chia said that you have to seek peace and run after it. Now, let me see if you could see that. No, you couldn't. It says, seek peace and run after it. That was part of that list, which is a Vake Shalom V'Ravehu in Hebrew. So over here, we're seeing another explanation for turn away from evil and do good. These kind of ideas of turning is really giving us a thought that it's possible to know in terms of what is happening in the world by knowing the movement of the planets, the influence that God is shining on you at that moment. That's basically what he wants to say. And if you know these things and you don't say something about it, that's what he said, is that this is really doing something bad, because you have the ability to be able to tell somebody, don't get married on this day, get married on that day, don't do this on that time. Now, this is not my type of astrology. I said that before. Prediction, the idea of prediction, but nonetheless, he wants to make a point. The point is that this is knowable. Now, the Torah says that astrologers, they see, but they don't see. In other words, they see, generally speaking. Let's say, for example, he's going to bring us all kinds of examples of this. But he says, let's say Jupiter is considered to be the symbol, or that is the power of God shining through Jupiter, brings success, expansion, bigness, like that, growth. So that if Jupiter is very important, or is very strong in your chart, so then you'll see that at any particular place that you're at, that you see Jupiter, this is going to be a time of maximizing success. And even you could get more closer to the idea what the success would be, but it's not able to deliver this exactly. So let me give you an example from my own life. That astrologer once told me, looking at my daughter's chart, that she was going to be pregnant. She was going to get pregnant. So he looked at it and he thought, well, she's a little bit old, so maybe she won't get pregnant. But he says he saw that in her chart because he saw that she's a Cancer, and he saw that the Jupiter was passing through, or something like this. Jupiter was passing through her her Cancer. It was passing through her moon, which is Cancer. So this is I'm going on. I'm sorry about this. So anyway, the story ends is that went on a vacation. We were in Sfat with her and her family, and we're in the Arishul, and we're getting a tour. And this man is saying, "Here, sit in this chair," and he says to her, "Anyone who sits in that chair will give birth to a child in that year." Well, she didn't give birth to a child, but she did sit in the chair. And he did make that statement. So that goes along. That's how I see it working. It works, but it is not exact. So therefore, you could see the influences in one way or another, and you could learn a lot. But I have a different approach to astrology altogether. Because as I said before, I was once a doctoral candidate in psychology, and that was before I really did my search, my dissertation. I got involved in learning Torah. I never knew the Torah. I just ran into it because of many things that I was reading. And then I saw that Moshe Rabbeinu was talking to me. And that's led me to all the things that I wanted to learn. Now over here, so you understand, I have a different approach altogether. I'm looking at the midos of astrology, and really seeing how people can learn to get along and conquer their problems as, using a good understanding of their natures. And that you can get from astrology as well. Now we're going to drop over here to another page. If you buy this book, and it is available on Amazon, there it is. Excuse me, this is page 13. So he says, let me just pick up his language here. He says, and yet there's a strong secular approach coming from earlier and more important sources in the Talmud, where it discusses astrology. That is, for example, in Masechta Shabbos, and there in the Talmud, the Jewish astrology system shockingly has nothing to do with the idea where the planets are in the sky at any particular moment. Now, let's see what he's saying, since it starts to get a little bit deeper for me. He says time is pre-embedded with energy set during the initial moments of creation, and what happens when a person is born on a certain day is influenced by these primal energies. Now, this is a big thought to me. First of all, time. Time is a creation. Time is really important to people because we have only so much time on this world. So he says this is pre-embedded with energies set during the initial moments of creation. And what happens when a person is born on a certain day is influenced by these primal energies. For example, a person who was born in Sunday, he should be on Sunday, is likely to be all good or all bad. Now, why would that be? Is it because God created day and night on that day? God created day and night on that day. A person who is born on Monday is likely to become a thief or a contentious person or a life filled with conflict because Monday is the day of the moon and the day God separated the firmament. And then the Talmud proceeds to talk about something which exists in Western astrology too, which is the planetary hours, a concept which is called planetary hours. The whole week had been divided into 7 days, and each day has a different ruler. Now, it means a different energy source. And each hour of every day has a particular ruler too. That again, each hour has a different energy source. And then it goes to the area of bloodletting. Now, this is a concept which is out of date. Which days are good for bloodletting, and which days are not, etc. Now, how does the Talmud know this? So you see that the Talmud, and here remember the topic that he's really dealing with, and we're in a bunch of arguments, uh, is astrology according to Jewish law. That's really what we're trying to get at. How do we see astrology? And we see that it's all over. It's not popular today at all. Study of Sod is not popular. The yeshivas that we learn the Torah, which we need to learn the basic Torah, are a litvish. The Litvaks don't study Kabbalah. They don't know about it. So here it is, and he didn't know about astrology either. So it's, to a great extent, it is suppressed. But there are a lot of people out there that are the other half of the universe really can be interested in this. So you see that the Talmud also discussed what we call today in Western astrology planetary hours. I'm going to show you later on that the Kabbalists had a much deeper of the idea about what planetary hours are. They took the system of the Talmud and explained it. It's bad grammar. He explained on it greatly, and then they got into it and they went into depth. It made a very sophisticated model of the universe, and they made a model of the universe very, very sophisticated, which we are going to talk about some more. Okay, I think we're going to stop right here, and we'll keep going on. We will skip around a little bit because it's just very, very big, goes into lots of different places. All of them are worthwhile, but for the interest of just giving us a taste, and what we're interested right now in this topic that we're talking about is astrology according to Jewish law. This is Baruch Fleishman.